तो आपके करियर के बारे में तो आंटी यू नो वी आर मेकिंग अनदर होल एपिसोड वेयर आई वांट टू टॉक टू यू मोर अबाउट योर कथक school that you did amazing shows in Louisville, and so many people know you. And whenever I talk to my Louisville friends, most of them know Meena Aunty. So either their daughters have come to you or they have seen your show. But I would love to talk to you more about in detail. So that episode will be dedicated to just all the careers that you've had at the coffee places, or as a docent, or as a running your own business. How did it start? How you made it happen? How did it grow? So because starting में बहुत challenges आते हैं, that's where women are like नहीं job कर लेते हैं, it's not working. So वहाँ से कैसे push करा? So we'd love to talk to about the careers, definitely. If you can talk more about financial independence, I feel that is another topic in terms of how you started, like where were you when you came here, and then when did you realize about financially, like I have to take things in control, I have to learn, not just feel कि someone is going to husband आके बताएगा क्या करना है. Like when did you realize that, oh no, it's me, I have to take the first step, and then more about it.
I would love to share it. It dawned on me like when I asked some money to my husband for something. I don't remember now what it is, but his answer was maybe next month.
Mhm.
And that's kind of started me thinking. शादी होने से पहले, before marriage, it was I spread my hands in front of my father. I want money. And he'll ask me, why do you need money? And then I have to explain why. Then I get married and I am doing the same thing. That's when it hit me, maybe a couple of years into our marriage, that this is not right. Why do I need to ask him and he should be asking me, why do I need the money? What do I need the money for? You tell me, I will buy it for you. That was the attitude that bothered me a lot. That why do I have to tell you what I need it for? I'm not like going to the bar and drinking with that money. It's for some my personal use. So what is that personal use? You can tell me. And I didn't want to. And it was not like buying a cigarette or buying something. It may have been just going to the department store or buying myself a perfume or a soap, whatever it was. But I did not feel the need of telling anybody what I need. I mean, it just came to my mind. And it could be upbringing, because I saw my mother asking for my money for my father, and my mother used to get upset when my father would ask her. It may have rubbed on me.
Yeah. It's very common, very relatable. Many women are going to relate to this, where husbands have the financial control, and then you have to ask them or discuss with them or tell them why do you need it for. I mean, it's still there. I mean, this still exists in a big way.
I'm surprised. Oh, I thought it was just my generation, because a friend of mine told me that even to buy a loaf of bread, in those days bread was what, 25 cents or 27 cents, and she had to ask for that 25 cents to her husband so she could get bread. And when I started listening to all these things, I mean, friends talk, right? So we used to talk about it, and then I said one time, I want to have my own credit card. And it was like, why? We have credit card together, and there is a tragedy that happened in our group, and like a accident or something. I don't exactly remember now. It's been so long, but my first thing came to my mind was, I need to have my own credit. If I'm going to live in this country, I need my own credit. If I don't have my own credit, God forbid something happens, I cannot buy things on joint credit card, like a car or a home. I mean, these were the drastic thoughts at the time. Yes, it is still there, because especially in this, anywhere, anytime in your life, there is no guarantee. So one needs to be, especially in this country, you need to be, if your parents, I mean, you are alone here, you have to have, especially for the young mothers, I would suggest, first thing they do, and I did suggest to my nieces when they came here, You need to establish your own credit by doing, like, first get the credit card, start buying things on your credit card, and pay your bills. Write a check, even if it's a joint account. Write your check, have your signature on that check. You're establishing your credit. This is very minor thing. That's where you start.
Credit history. Yeah, you need credit history, your own credit history.
And then eventually, like, you start buying more and more, and like, if you work, you have more money to dispose of, or your husband is kind enough to give you more money as a your monthly expenses. Even though that, start paying by your credit. And now there is a digital technology these days, but you still have to have your own credit in your name.
And you learn a lot. I mean, you learn by maintaining it. Like initially, payment nahi kara, kitna interest rate hai. There are so many things that you learn only when you do it yourself.
Exactly. And when I told this to my nieces, and this is, I'm talking about maybe 15 years ago, uh, same attitude of their husband's attitude never change. They are the same. We change. We women change. We are changing. We are evolving.
People in power, they would not want things to change. People who are not in power, they want things to change.
Yeah. So the same thing, like what my husband asked me in the 60s, why do I need my own credit? These husbands, my nieces' husbands, like until 10, 15 years ago, when I told them, you have to have your credit, get a credit card. First question, why? I am here for you. Why do you need it? Meena Aunty, she doesn't need any credit card. She doesn't need any credit on her own. And I'm like, you never know. So they're like what? I said, anything can happen. Like what? I said, don't make me say the words, but anything can happen in this country.
That's very true.
So I advise all the young audience, get your credit card.
Yes. And then start learning managing finances, start educating yourself. I'm making a lot of content on it, Auntie. I'm making a lot of videos about banks in America, what is credit card, what is debit card, how do you open an account, how do credit card companies make their profit, like how does it work in terms of interest rates, this is how they make it, how to maintain it. But financial independence and financial learning is high time, and it's not just Indian women, it's women from even here in America, white women also. So many of them who are not living in big cities, they are similar. They feel similarly that husbands or fathers or the men of the house know about it. Like my husband knows about it. Like that's the answer. So we have to change that.
Yeah.
Hanji, thank you, Auntie, so much for enlightening us on financial wisdom. My next question to you is about relationships in terms of maintaining relationships with relatives. जो क्योंकि ओवर द इयर्स 50 years में आई एम श्योर आपके इंडिया से काफी फैमिली फ्रेंड्स लोग आते जाते रहे होंगे, एंड देन व्हेन relatives come or friends come to stay with us, I want to know what are your learnings as a woman in terms of taking all the responsibility, in terms of your learnings, things that you did initially but then later on realized that I need to change things. So please share your learnings and some wisdom on how to maintain relationships when it comes to travelers that come to your house.
When you're young and relatives from India come, I mean, you have the energy. Like India se relatives aate hain, so they are not used to working in the house because they are, almost all of them have servants. Not one, two, sometimes more servants than the people in the house. So when they come here, like for example, like for 1 week, 2 weeks, woman of the house will, she's like also excited. Family is here and has this adrenaline going on and very excited, happy, and doing, all the chores. You sit down, I'll do it. And eventually it starts catching up. Because Indian men, especially coming from India, they have no idea. वो चाय का cup, their cup, they'll drink their, have coffee or tea, leave it there on the coffee table. Now, it's such a small thing for the man. Okay, what's wrong with you? You can just aati jati rehti ho. just उठा लेना and then make another cup of coffee or tea for me. So then the woman is doing her chores, taking care of the kids. People want three meals a day: breakfast, lunch. Oh no, there is a tea time also. Tea time, so four, and dinner. And they are always hungry.
Yes. वेकेशन मोड में होता है ना, देयर इन वेकेशन मोड, अमेरिका आए हैं, अब वहाँ जाएंगे तो लाइक खाना पीना वो वाला मोड होता है.
They are on vacation mode, but they don't realize that other people are working. They are not on vacation mode.
Right.
They don't realize it. Then so this is such a small thing. Like when I'm talking to you, many people will say the same thing. So what's the big deal? Big deal is when you have to clean up and do more. So it's like a non-stop. The woman of the house is doing something or the other, in the kitchen, outside the house. On her, it's a lot of pressure.
Yes.
Then it starts building up, and then on top of that, we want to take our relatives to do sightseeing, and unko acha lagta hai. We also like it because they are enjoying it, and it's like everything is fun. But then the dollar amount starts creeping up. The way amount of money we spend in India when we go from here, it's a dollar, was a dollar power then. So people see us spend money, so they assume that we are very much, we can afford all these things. Then they come here, they see big homes, 2 cars in the garage, not realizing having 2 cars is not a luxury. Just like in India, they think it is a luxury, but over here it's a necessity. It is not a luxury, it's a necessity. And then there are car payments, house payments, and there are so many payments are there. They don't know. And of course, we don't talk about it. And we just go on with spending money on them.
Right.
And then what happens is, उनको shopping लेके जाने का है. So shopping, you take them for shopping, spend your money on their shopping. So they are happy, you are happy, and you are spending, you don't realize it.
Yeah, true.
When you go from here to India, you take gifts to the same people that these people want to buy gifts from here. So you are spending double the amount of money on these relatives who are back home. Then you add up to that, people when they get sick, some of them don't have insurance, medical insurance. They just come like, we never get sick in India, so we are okay here. Then the children end up paying in thousands of dollars when these people get sick. Or especially when you sponsor somebody. The sponsor is the person who's responsible on this. They don't realize it when they come here.
Yeah, true.
Another thing is the stress that puts after like 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, for however long they stay here. Unless the host or the hostess or the kids take them out, they are stuck at home. And it gets very boring for the people who are used to being with people back home. And here, my mother used to ask me that I don't even see a dog on the street. There is nothing out there, and depending on the season also. Women can help, but men pretty much are bored because there is nothing to do, no social life unless we take them somewhere. So it's a lot of stress here, unless the parents are coming here so often that they have made their own group of friends here, or they are more like they are living in a place where you can walk around.
लाइक न्यू जर्सी में मैंने देखा था कि जर्सी में मेरे इन लॉज रहते थे, मेरा ब्रदर इन लॉ, सिस्टर इन लॉ, तो वहाँ पर काफी इंडियन पेरेंट्स लाइक 40-50 पेरेंट्स साथ में बैठे होते थे नीचे कम्युनिटी बिल्डिंग्स में. सो देयर आई फेल्ट देयर, बट अदर सिटीज डोंट हैव दैट लग्जरी.
No, but you're talking about now, right?
Right now, yes. Then it was back then it wasn't there.
In the 80s and 90s, no, it wasn't there. And I mean, it has its plus as well as minus. But I just told you minus points. Because you need to be aware. People need to be aware that what can happen. Because in the beginning, feels so good. My mom and dad are coming, or my sasu sasur are coming, and I love them, and blah blah blah. But this pressure builds up. Positive is like it is good for our children having grandparents at home.
Right.
That is the biggest thing. And if the grandparents or grandmother or sasuji, if they are physically fit, they can, like, you go to work, you come home, and they already have their your dinner ready. So that's a plus point. So it all depends, like, on the parents also. It is not just like one way. It has to be both ways. So my thing is, like, when the parents come here from India, they have to be busy helping the daughter or daughter-in-law, whoever.
Right, right. So, Auntie, I feel that most of the pressure is absorbed by the women when it comes to maintaining relationships. In general, women are tribe-oriented. So, how can, I mean, is there anything experience-wise that you can share? How can women transfer some of the responsibility and share it with their spouse? So, the man of the house is also responsible, equally responsible for maintaining the relationships emotionally and physically.
Let's see. I mean, this is what I have my observation in my age group also. That when men start to want to do something like cleaning up in the house or help in the kitchen, someone complains because their husband don't do anything. Someone complains because their husbands are too much in the kitchen,
Right.
and some complain like they don't clean up properly. But this is all like according to the woman, because she's the woman of the house. So my thing would be, if your husband is, uh, let me tell you my example. My husband does the dishwasher now. So he will stack up so many things in there. Sometimes the things don't get cleaned up. So a couple of times it just came out of my mouth, you're putting too many things in there. But then I caught myself. I said, if I complain, that means he's going to stop whatever help he's doing. So I don't complain. I just let him clean, let him load up the kitchen dishwasher, let him unload the dishwasher, and when he finds out that things were not cleaned, he'll take care of it. So I stopped telling him what to do and what not to do. So, but this didn't happen. Actually, this started happening when I started noticing amongst my friends. They would complain about their husbands, and then the guys stop. Anyway, you are going to complain, so why do it? So my suggestion is, like, don't complain. Let him do his way. You can do your own way.
Yeah. With time and with practice, they will learn.
And no matter how tasteless the sabji they make, vegetable they make, dal they make, or whatever, just praise. Don't say it is, don't have to eat it, but just praise that you did a wonderful job.
Right, right. And also they get used to the fact that when they have to do it, it's like I have to do it, and it becomes a task for them. They complain and they're doing it unhappily. Versus when they can do it feeling okay, it's my job. I enjoy doing it. I mean, I'll enjoy doing something जहाँ पे मुझे कोई constantly टोक नहीं रहा है कि मैं गलत कर रही हूँ. I'll enjoy doing that. अगर मैं कुछ कर रही हूँ, for example डिश वॉशिंग ले लो, या घर के कोई भी लॉन्ड्री हो गया, कोई भी काम हो गए, हस्बैंड स्टार्टिंग में ना दे ट्राई टू, मेरे पास बहुत काम है, मेरे को ऑफिस का काम भी करना है, मैं क्यों करूँ, सो देन वहाँ पर थोड़ा सा पुश करना होता है. आई थिंक कि लेट देम प्रैक्टिस, लेट देम सल्क अबाउट इट, लेट देम कंप्लेन अबाउट इट, बिकॉज दे आल्सो नीड टू लर्न हाउ टू डू इट. दे विल नॉट लर्न इट ओवरनाइट.
They are basically children, your mother-in-law's child.
Yes, mother-in-law's child. And I think women also become the mom of the house. Like they take care of everything. Women have that inherently, like it's in our biology as well. We are we take care of things. So yeah, that's good learning.
This will come to haunt you also. I mean, women also, because when you get sick, then who's going to do help around the house? Husband. And you don't let them do anything, that will be very difficult on the mothers or the wives. And also, when unfortunately I lost a couple of my friends, and their husbands were like total at loss. They don't know how to run the dishwasher, do not know how to fold the laundry, do the laundry. And they are like, one of my friend, like he was totally broken. And so, like, all of us now watching all that, like, our group of friends, we are telling our husbands, like, they need to start And they have started already, actually. Husbands have started taking responsibility a little bit more on taking care of the house.
Good, Aunty, that's good. I think the question to ask each other as a couple: Can I live independently? So, as a woman, can I do all the things that the man is doing, like financial independence or things that typically men do? You need to learn them. And then for the men, can I do everything and live independently? If I have to live alone, can I take care of myself? Basically, that kind of mindset is now critical. It's not an option anymore. It's a need.
Yeah. Like I had read some articles about about on this thing, on this topic, but I wonder how many men read or how many men understand that, because it is usually looks like a women's topic, like what they should do. I don't know how many will are open minded to listen.
I think I have seen it among my generation. Like if I love looking at things through generations and through cultures. Um, Most of my friends, their husbands are very hands-on fathers. They go to school, they take care of kids, they change diapers, they do the dishwashing, they do cooking. So I have seen that trend, but there are certain generations, I think I would say the ones that are older than me, they are still very patriarchal, still very like women do the work, and which is fine. I mean, if you divide it and are happy about it, if there is peace in the house, it's good. But then if you are burdened and if you are stressed about it, I think that's where things need to change.
See, I think I'll give you one example. Like my son, younger son, he is like closer to 50 now, 49 years old. So I was talking to him one time. I called and I could hear a lot of sound in the background, like pots and pans. I said, "Where is the family?" He goes, "Well, they are all at the. His son is at golf, playing golf, and the girls are at the swimming pool, and they are on their way home, and they will be hungry because they have been out in the sun since like last 4 5 hours, community swimming pool, and they have been hanging out there. So by the time they come home, they will be very hungry, tired and hungry. So I'm just getting grills going, so I'll start whatever, hamburger or chicken. So by the time they come home, food will be ready. And I thought of myself, typical Indian husband in this case would be still sitting on his rump in front of TV, legs stretched on the coffee table, and as soon as wife walks in with a tired and hungry, first thing that comes out of his mouth would be, "So what's for dinner?"
Yes, I'm waiting. True.
Yeah, where have you been? Now that you have had fun at the swimming pool, go in the kitchen. I mean, expected that you go and cook. That's the difference. I mean, I wish my generation was like, men were like that. And because my son is grew up here, he knows that one can get tired just being in the sun and by the swimming pool.
And it's also compassion. I think compassion as a human being that people sometimes lack. Yeah. Yeah.
It is very frustrating for stay-at-home moms.
I agree. I agree. And then, but the trend is like the newer generation is very hands-on, especially immigrants who are in their young phases. They do all the housework, and their kids are seeing their parents equally sharing the housework. They are going to become the same kind of man, and they're happier also. I mean, this is so critical as a man to teach your son and to show your daughter that you share responsibilities with your partner, so that then when they grow up, they also can provide, and it's a happy life. It's a happy wife is equal to happy life, right? So if your son can be an equal partner to his wife when he grows up, there'll be more marital bliss. Otherwise, if your son doesn't do anything at all, you don't teach him anything, just like your husband, if he doesn't do anything, then he will also have a frustrated wife, the wife who's taking all the burden, doing everything. So it's very important for moms to understand, to teach this to their young sons as well, and daughters as well, that don't do everything. Why would you want your daughter to do everything for their in-laws and for their husband? You want them, right, to have equal partners. And the equality starts with you, when your kids see you sharing work with your husband, and not complaining about it, or not fighting about it with each other. That's where, yeah, that's the right way. But it's challenging, Auntie. I mean, it's very difficult. Sometimes the husband, they don't want to do it. They fight about it. Sometimes the wives are not sure how to make it happen. Sometimes working husbands and stay at home moms feel this the most, because they stay at home, they're not earning, they're not bringing anything to the table, which is not true at all. They are bringing so much to the table. Yeah. So thank you, Auntie. Thank you so much for sharing about raising teenagers in America, about friendships, about relationships, about financial independence. These are all very critical and important issues for women. And thank you for sharing, because you are coming from experience here. So I'm so happy that women can learn and relate to so many of the things that you say. And in the next episode, we are going to discuss about the world from 2000 to 2020, which is more about social media, which is more about mental health, and it's all the changes that you started seeing in 1960s, 70s, how they have come to fruition, how they have changed and completely brought a new world. So we would love to discuss more on the next episode, and then also do a career podcast with you, where we will discuss about all the careers that you've had, all the learnings. And thank you so much again for taking the time to come on the channel, and I look forward to talk more with you.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure. Talk to you later.
Thank you, Auntie. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.